peace and love, family. Tonight is not tonight is not a truth to power talk, but tonight this is Dr. Maat having what I call sharing, my honest thoughts. So I keep titling these Sunday discussions as honest thought. And so let me get some things prepared. I wanted to kind of hurry up and go live because I knew that I was running a bit late today. I like to be on time for the people who support me. And I see that people were already in the building. And so I said, let me go live and get this thing started. All right. So you're literally watching me in real time, get my stuff together. Okay. And so that's Samaria Rice. Let me put this back because this is who I want on the Dr. Maat screen right now. Tonight, this is, how Jay-Z and the rappers used to say, we're going to put you on that Summer Jam screen. This is the Dr. Maat screen. And I see, you see to my left, you see Tamika Mallory. And so she's received a lot of criticism because, she was, I don't know. I don't really know too much about her, but she was a quote unquote or proclaimed to be a activist, for the Black community. And she's gotten under fire, lately. I mean, she's catching a lot of heat because she appeared on the Grammys. She also appeared in a Cadillac commercial. Samaria Rice, the mother of Samaria Rice, called her out, not only the Samaria, and shout out to that warrior mother, that warrior queen, Samaria, but Samaria called her out. Okay. Samaria called out Tamika Mallory. She called out Benjamin Crump. She called out Shaun King. And then you had Michael Brown's father who's calling out Black Lives Matter. All right. And so tonight, I'm not going to hold you long. I'm not going to hold you long. I see all of you in the chat. Peace to you, Haru Assad. Peace to you, brother. Address the fact. My moderator, New Black World Order. Peace to you, brother. Sister Tamika, brother Quasi, brother Rashad. My mother Anna's in the building. Tito District, brother Shaun P. Tiffany. My usuals. My usuals. But yeah, I have Sister Tamika. I don't even call her sister, but Tamika Mallory's on the Dr. Maat screen. And so the question tonight, family, is did Tamika Mallory sell out? So in other words, can you be an activist, right? Someone who advocates for political and social change. Can you be that and in bed with capitalists? And if you're connected with Dr. Maat, then you already know what my answer is, right? You already know what my answer is. So anyway, y'all. All right. So for years, literally, we have watched videos of unarmed Black people being murdered by white police officers, right? And rarely are there any convictions. And I know right now the trial is going on with George Floyd. And I believe the officer's name was Derek Shelvin or something like that. You guys, I butcher names, but I think his first name is Derek. And so they're trying to assassinate George Floyd's character, talk about his addiction to pills and what so have you or whatever. But we've been down this road. We've seen this show before. So this is really a rerun. And usually there aren't any convictions. I think we had maybe one or two convictions out of the hundreds of murders that there have been. But we hardly get any convictions. And we've all noticed the song and dance, So, a brother or sister will get murdered and then people will go out and they'll riot and they'll demand justice. And then Tamika Mallory and the boys. And who do I mean by Tamika Mallory and the boys? Tamika Mallory and the boys are Benjamin Crump, Shaun King. So they start posting a lot on social media. The ambulance chasing crew will start running around, as soon as someone gets shot. I don't know if they watch the news. I don't know what they do. But as soon as someone gets shot, bam, it just happened. Then boom, it's like, instant. Tamika Mallory and the gang, Shaun King and Black Lives Matter and Benjamin Crump, they're right there with the family. And, and then, the family will say, look, guys, we just want justice. So the whole family will be on TV. And then next, Benjamin Crump becomes the lawyer for the family, and then they go to trial. But before they go to trial, the family will tell all of us to calm down. we want peace. Then they go to trial. During trial, the family will say, we forgive the person who, I mean, we've seen this stuff before, family. And so at this point, everyone should know that when someone gets murdered, when Black folks get murdered by the police, there's always a payout, right? And Benjamin Crump, he'll come on, he'll do it pro bono, but we all know that he gets his cut. So it's a payout, and then it's a script, right? The "we forgive you" thing, calm down, everyone. And you always see again the same people: Tamika Mallory and the boys. Okay, so that's Benjamin Crump, Shaun King, and Black Frost. No, Black Lives Matter. And another thing, guys, that was pointed out to me, I remember when Black Lives Matter first came on the scene, people kept calling it an LBGTQ front, right? And so I was like, why is people saying this? And then, so what they were doing, and then I noticed things like you would see the black fist, and then you would see the rainbow flag next to the black fist. So they started trying to mix the struggles. But let me be clear here. The Black struggle is a struggle, a fight to be recognized and treated as a human being. The LBGTQIAFWZY struggle is the struggle to practice and indulge in a certain behavior. Let's not get it twisted. And so when people kept saying it was the LBGT front, initially I was like, well, no. But then I started seeing things like, I saw the flag. And then I recently found out that Black Lives Matter has 30 chapters, 23 of which are held by somebody who is in the LBGTQIAWFYZ community. So it is an LBGT front. And then Michael Brown's dad is calling him out. Let me put that on the Summer Jam screen. Hold on. Well, on the dr.maat.msu screen. Hold on. Let me pull this over here. Look at this, y'all. So Michael Brown's father, Ferguson activist, he demanded $20 million from Black Lives Matter. Right? Look at this. And I'm not going to read the whole article to you. But it says the father of Michael Brown and other activists from Ferguson, Missouri are demanding financial support from Black Lives Matter after the organization revealed it raised over $90 million last year. Now, how did they raise that $90 million? You know what they did? They showed up at the rallies. They used a lot of the images of people like Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and all of them. They gained popularity. I mean, these people literally capitalized off of Black blood. Think about that. That's what they did. So look at this, $90 million last year. Michael Brown Sr., whose son was fatally shot by white police officers in August of 2014, along with the other activists who helped propel the movement, want $20 million from the group to help their community. Look at Mr. Brown. He said, where's all the money going? They've raised billions. I mean, he's talking, they said 90 million, but they've raised, you know how many corporations donated to Black frauds? I mean, I'm sorry, Black Lives Matter. Do you know how many organizations donated to them? And they didn't give these families and these communities a dime. That's why people like Michael Brown Sr. are calling this mess out. So he said, where's the money going? Brown Sr. asked in a Tuesday press release from the International Black Freedom Alliance. How could you leave the families who are helping the community without any funding? This is what happens. And we running around here hashtagging Black Lives Matter and happy because they spray painting some words in the streets. And it's a fraud. The organization is a fraud. And it is an LBGT front. And so anyway, you had Samaria Rice. And let me put this sister up on the dr.maat screen. This warrior sister, Samaria, is not playing around. Samaria is not playing around with Benjamin Crump, Tamika Mallory, Black Lives Matter, Shaun King, and them. She's calling out all of this foolishness. I love her spirit, and I'm going to play a clip of her talking about. I'm going to play a clip of her talking about her feelings about Black Lives Matter. But before we get to that, some of you may say, "Well, who is Samaria Rice?" Samaria Rice She is the mother of Tamar Rice, who was a 12-year-old African-American boy who was killed in 2014 in Cleveland, Ohio by Timothy Lauman, who is a 26-year-old white police officer. All right, Tamir Rice, was carrying a replica toy gun, and Loman shot him almost immediately after arriving on the scene. All right, and let me show you a picture of that baby, that beautiful baby. Oh my goodness. Heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. And peace be upon his soul. He was only 12, out there playing with a toy gun, and lost his life, lost his life behind that. And so, guys, so this is Samaria Rice. But let me show you this article. It was published by the Griot, where they talk about Samaria Rice and what she had to say about Benjamin Crump, Tamika Mallory, Shaun King, and Black Lives Matter. And I'm not going to read the whole article, but you can Google it. It says Samaria Rice on Tamika Mallory dispute. I didn't have to call you out your name, but let's look at what was said. So it says Samaria Rice, she appeared in some podcast, and she made some comments about Tamika Mallory, Ben Crump, and others who've created platforms advocating for social justice. And I'm telling you, they ran around. I'm telling you, these are ambulance chasers. They ran around. As soon as somebody got shot, boom, then Tamika and the boys showed up. Bang, and everybody was there. Then they're standing next to the family. They shared a whole bunch of stuff online, got everybody riled up. This is the sort of stuff. This is the sort of stuff that we've been seeing. And so she's calling this stuff out. All right. So it says right here, let me get to her comments. She said, look, she did call out her name, and she said, I could have said it different. Tamika, she said, I didn't have to call you out your name, but baby girl, you were out of pocket. You were out of your lane. Right. It says, look at this. So Rice called out Mallory after she appeared on the Grammys Awards with the Atlantic rapper Lil Baby. Yes, Tamika Mallory is saying she's an activist, but she's on the Grammys. Okay. So, and we're going to get to that. Why that's a contradiction. All right. So it says Rice accused the activists of monopolizing the fight for racial justice. Mallory performed a poem discussing Black oppression and police brutality. Rice used her social media accounts to make her statement against Mallory and others. She made it clear that she is a fan of the musician, and did not appreciate people using her words against him. She said this: I did what I did. I said what I said. That's the sister right there. Could I have said it in a different way? Yes, I could have, she remarked on the radio show. Yes, I could have. But at the time, she said, it got me angry. And here we go once again. Maybe you should have the mothers on stage with you, Tamika. As a family, it wouldn't have looked too obvious. She said, and this ain't got nothing to do with Lil Baby. She said, my direct message was for Tamika Mallory, the activist Shaun Kings, and the Black Lives Matter Patrice Cullors of the world, she explained. It's no working together because she's created a platform. What are we going to work and do? She already created a platform. And guess what? My platform was given to me from the death of my son. What type of work are we going to do? Because I'm not interested. Listen to what the sister said. I'm not interested in no movie deals and book deals. She said that comes to me every day. I have to turn away every day. So tell me, what are we going to do? She continued, going forward. I don't know if it's a conversation we can have. I don't know. I just know I need them to get out of our fight. They've built a platform. Go live on that platform and get up out of this fight. I don't know any Black Lives Matter chapters that help people. Hold up. Wait a minute. Did you hear what the mother, Tamar Rice, just said? She said, I don't know any Black Lives Matters chapters that help people. All right. And it says similar. It says, and then she's going into, she said, Simpson continued, the smaller chapters are putting in all the work, and the global network is getting the paycheck. They're getting everything, and they don't have a boot to the ground. I mean, she went all the way in. All right. She says her original statement was made on Sunday after the Grammy Awards show. She accused the aforementioned activists of having ulterior motives. So your Shaun Kings, your Tamika Mallory's, your Benjamin Crumps, and Black Lives Matter. She says, look at this clout chaser. Look at this clout chaser. Did she lose something in this fight? I don't think so, wrote Rice, who also criticized civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. She said, that's the problem. That's why they take us for a joke. That's why we never have justice because of SHIT like this. And I'm not going to curse because my mama is in the chat. She says she also took to Facebook to say, F the Grammys when my son is dead. F all pig cops. So she went along. And I'm going to read this last statement. She said, on Tuesday, Rice released an official statement along with Simpson doubling down on their thoughts about Mallory, Crump, and others, asking them to step down and stand back. She says Tamika D. Mallory, Shaun King, Benjamin Crump, Lee Merritt, Patrice Cullors, Melinda Abdullah, and Black Lives Matter Global Network need to stand down, stand back, and stop mobilizing and capitalizing off our fight for justice and human rights. We never hired them to be representatives in the fight for justice for our dead loved ones who were murdered by the police. Their statement concluded, we don't want or need y'all parading in the streets, accumulating donations, platforms, movie deals, etc., off the death of our loved ones while the families and the communities are left clueless and broken. Don't say our loved ones' names, periods. That's our truth. I wish I had my sound effect on. I didn't even have that ready. I would just drop the mic. Samaria Rice went all the way in on these fraudulent activists. She went all the way in on them. All right. And let me show you what she's talking about, because I read the article. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I do see now what she's talking about. So, of course, after I read the article, I was like, what is she talking about? So I started looking for this commercial and all this, the sponsorships that were coming out of this. And look at this. Here it is, guys. Hold on. This is the Cadillac. And let me stop sharing my screen and start sharing it again. I want to make sure that I share the sound. Okay. And I see Brother Geechee Yah has joined the Brother Geechee Yah. Peace to you, brother. Peace to you, brother.
I'm having some internet issues.
All right. Well, don't worry about it, brother. Yeah, I can hear you, but don't worry about it, brother. You get that together. While you get that together, I'll be here going in. All right. I'm just getting warmed up, Brother Geechee Yah, calling out this foolishness. All right. So here we go. This is the commercial that Samaria Rice is talking about. So your girl, Tamika Mallory, the pro-Black social activist who claims she's been on the battlefield for 25 years, and people are calling her out where she's from and saying she hasn't done a damn thing for the community. I think they said Kentucky, Brother Geechee Yah. I forgot where she's from, but she said she's been in the fight for 25 years, and her people in her own community are saying they never heard of her. She doesn't do anything for that community. But anyway, all right, so this is the commercial. So Tamika Rice has a deal with Cadillacs, okay? And we'll get to her Grammy appearance as well. But let's look at this Cadillac commercial.
I've been an activist for 25 years of my life. I come from a very long line of strong women. They always encourage me to use every single resource to help another young woman who's on her journey. I am sure Black women will lead this nation to a better place. We're taking control and we're shaping our stories.
I'm sorry, my mic was muted. I said she got paid for that, family. So she's in bed. Hold on. She's in bed. She's in bed with Cadillac right now. So let me get this right, Brother Geechee Yah. Nowadays, you can be a Black activist, right? And get a sponsorship, a deal, with Cadillac. And then hold on. Let me go here. Let me go here. And she was on the Grammys. Yeah, I'm banging hard today, Brother Geechee. This stuff got to get called out, Brother Geechee. And if we don't call it out, who will, right? If the sisters don't hold the sisters accountable for what they're doing, who will? So she was on the Grammys. Let's check. Brother Geechee. Brother Geechee, can you hear me, brother? Brother
Yeah, I can
Geechee,
hear you. I'm trying to see if you can hear me. Is it choppy? Is it choppy when you talk to me? When you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little. I can hear you. You're good, brother. You good.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, though, brother. Do you think Do you think some of our warrior activists would be on the Grammys and would be in Cadillac commercials? Think of our warrior activists. Your Bobby Seals, and I'm thinking about Asada Shakur right now. I'm thinking about our warriors. Would they be in bed with capitalists, brother Geechee? Y'all, what's your opinion on that, brother? Oh man, brother Geechee, I don't know what's going on with him. But ask yourself, family, ask yourself, family, do you think that let me see. I think he's frozen. But anyway, family, do you think that our warriors, the Bobby P, the Bobby Seals and the Huey P. Newtons and the Asada Shakurs, do you think that they would be? Do you think that they would be in bed on the Grammys? So now we're glamorizing the fight, the struggle. We're glamorizing it, and it's like we live in a society now, family, where you can look the part and talk the talk, but you don't have to walk the walk. Now it's cool. It's on the Grammys. Cadillac is endorsing you. And so you have to be, I'm telling you, when they start, whoever's signing your check, they start controlling your message and they start controlling the narrative. And so you got people saying, well, like my son. And I was so surprised that the rapper My Son, that brother co-signed this. He said, well, activists got to pay their bills too. I mean, come on now, family. Activists got to pay bills too. So he was co-signing this foolishness, these endorsements. So now once I started doing my research, I figured out what Samaria Rice was talking about, what the mother was talking about. She's on the Grammys. Cadillac has endorsed her, and Samaria Rice is calling it all out. So hold on, let me go here. Let me let you hear our dear sister, Samaria Rice, talk about this.
I did not understand. We're communicating. It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. Like certain times I wanted to, stand up. My attorney at the time was being Crump, and he kind of told me like if they not gonna pay an angry black woman, and I was kind of limited to say what I wanted to say, and I'm.
Did you hear that, family? She said she was limited. She couldn't say what she wanted to say. So she's telling you, Benjamin Crump said, man, they're not going to pay an angry black woman. So they tell the victims to get up there and smile when they're hurting, to be nice, to play nice, because he wants them to get a payoff. It's not about the struggle, family. It's about the dollar bill with these people. And Samaria Rice is calling it all the way out. She said that this man told her, look, man, they're not going to pay an angry black woman. So this mother just lost. Let me get this right. Her 12-year-old son was fatally shot by a white police officer. And Benjamin Crump told her, chill, calm down. They're not gonna pay, an angry black woman. And so she just said that she couldn't say certain things. But we already knew it, family. We already knew it because it was the same script that you heard from these different families. So let me roll it.
To stand up. My attorney at the time was being Crump, and he kind of told me like if they not gonna pay an angry black woman, and I was kind of limited to say what I wanted to say, and I'm like, it didn't feel good, and somewhat they kind of co-signed, certain individuals kind of co-signed that. And I'm not going to say all of the LGBT queer community has been good to me, but the ones that have been, they have, but the ones that actually, is under those certain type of teachings that they teach over at Black Lives Matter, whatever. They do have a certain type of way of just being all up in your business.
All up in your business. All in the video. Remember Suge Knight? All in your business, all in your video. But she's right. She's talking about Black Lives Matter.
But again, we're vulnerable, so we're talking, we're letting them know, because at that time we make them a part of our case, okay? Because we're looking for guidance, and at that time they're working with the attorney to to collab on whatever rally, whatever protest, whatever press conference that the person should be doing. And that's why you see Tamika, Mallory, being Crump, and Shaun King at these protests, because they have taken over for the family, especially in George Floyd. There's no mother and father, but in Breonna Taylor's case, the mother is there. She doesn't say very much, and I don't think we heard from the father. So it's kind of strange, because they hound you so much. Like, I don't even really believe.
You heard what she just said, family? I'm looking for my other books. You heard what she just said, family? She said they hound you so much. So you lose your child, right? And then you got Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory, Benjamin Crump, Shaun King, and them hounding you to be a part of the case. This is what's going down, family. Poor thing. They hounded her to death.
That Tamika, and I'm gonna give you an example. I don't even believe Tamika Palmer is controlling her pages when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. Like, she's not controlling. That is not the work of. If you go to Instagram, look at Tamika Palmer page. That is not the work of a mother. Look at my page and look at her page. They have kind of corporate her page for her. She don't know no better. She's vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? They not helping her. They not teaching her and things like that. Yeah. So I was a little bit different. Okay. I demanded answers, and they gave me the answers, and it wasn't going to work, because I'm a different type of mom. Okay. Tamir's 12. I have 3 other kids. I come straight from the gutter. You wasn't going to keep playing no game with me, baby. So they had to eventually be honest with me and real with me. And in that part, I can respect of the LGBT community, because eventually I had to got with another group of folks that was honest with me, telling me what the up and up. And I'm like, this shit ain't right. This shit ain't right. I don't want to be a part of nothing. I don't want to do nothing with them. No, nothing. But I've always had a relationship with all of them. I thought, but Opal, she always, she just always been genuine. I'm just gonna say that. She never lied about anything. She always kept it real. But again, she does not make the decisions, and she has to be held accountable too. And I think she knows that. So it's all good. I take nothing back. I have no regrets.
I love her.
Yeah, when it comes to Shaun King, I think that he needs to find something else to do than to think he is a Black news reporter. You don't have to keep reporting on our Black news. Find something else to do that your community can benefit from, because you're not part of our community. Tamika Mallory, I hope that you can find a different career or use your platform to do whatever you have been doing. But you definitely have to come out this fight, Junior Sharpton. You got to come up out of here.
She called her Junior Sharpton, Junior Sharpton A. That's what she called Tamika Mallory. So she told Shaun King, get out the fight. Stop reporting on our stuff. She said, you ain't even in the community. I think dude is like a mulatto, or he might be white. I mean, he looks kind of white, mulatto. I don't know. But she said, you're not even in the community. Stop reporting on our stuff. And called Tamika Mallory and Al Sharpton Jr. basically. Hold on.
Find something else to do.
Hold up.
To do than to think he is a Black too. And I think she knows that. So it's all good. I take nothing back. I have no regrets.
I love her.
Yeah, when it comes to Shaun King, I think that he needs to find something else to do than to think he is a Black news reporter. You don't have to keep reporting on our Black news. Find something else to do that your community can benefit from, because you're not part of our community. Tamika, Mallory,
she calling them all the way out. She's Shaun King, you're not even a part of our community. Find something else to do. You trying to run around act like you some black reporter. Now listen to what she said about Tamika Mallory.
I hope that you can find a different career or use your platform to do whatever you have been doing. But you definitely have to come out this fight, Junior Sharpton. You got to come up out of here, because we're not getting no convictions. We're not getting no indictments. And we, like my sister said, we done followed you here, there, every damn where. And you have not showed us how to get a murder conviction. If all the smarts and the geniuses that you have, and you are working with these attorneys together, both of y'all should be able to come up with some indictments for these families. Okay, some murder charges. You got these attorneys, all the attorneys with their whatever brilliance they have, and then you have these activists. You done been in college, you done did this, you done been in organ. You got all type of skills up under your back. So you and the attorney should be making sure that we get murder convictions and indictments and stuff like that. So that's just where I'm at with all of this, and it's just a shame that it has came to this point. My poor sister Lisa, being in.
It's sad. She's right. I mean, this sister is right. Where the damn indictments? It's about that. It's a game. They're running a game on you. And this again, family. Again, this speaks to a larger issue. Black people, we so damn gullible sometimes. We have to start vetting these people who are running around here claiming that they represent our fight, or that they represent our people. We have to start vetting these people. Just like a lot of people, and I know this is another conversation for another day, but just like, and I see you're back, Brother Geechee, yeah. And so hopefully everything is working, fine now, King. All right. But just like this whole Little Nas X crap, right? Just like this whole Little Nas X stuff. People are enraged or outraged because he's now, he put out a video. I didn't watch the video. However, I have seen pictures online, and people are outraged about him, his shoes he's selling, the Satan shoes. But remember, he was entertaining what was that song, Geechee, y'all? You got the horses in the bag, something, the old town, whatever, right? We let our kids dance to it. We never vetted him. And come to find out, the boy is just flaming, and he promotes devil worship. And now you're mad. Black people need to start vetting people who come before them. If they claim to be a teacher, I don't care, scientist, a political activist, whatever. We have to start vetting people who come in front of us, Brother Geechee. And that's another thing that I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about that Little Nas X and the Cardi birds of the world, but that's another conversation that we'll have at a later date. But peace and love to you, Brother Geechee. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Sorry for the difficulties, man. I'm on a remote island, and the Wi-Fi ain't the best, so I'm good now.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question, Brother Geechee. Can you be a black activist, a true black activist, and accept deals from the Cadillac and appear on the Grammys and get book deals? I know she has a book. Tamika Mallory has a book deal. She also has a deal for a podcast, right? And so can you really stay true to the cause, Brother Geechee, and get in bed with these capitalists? So in other words, can you be a black capitalist, right? And be down for, changing the system on behalf of black people?
So those are two questions. I'm gonna tackle the first one with the being a activist. So one of the good things. So I met Tamika before she started like blowing right now, and I felt like I've had a genuine conversation with her. I feel like the event that we had, she gets some things, right? So that's one thing that I could say personally. The contact, she gets some things, but the fame that comes after it, I think it can blur your vision, and I think it can probably show you that your interests would be more of the face rather than to kind of solve some problems. So I don't want to say that any activist who make it to celebrity or celebrated status is co-op, but the chances of you promoting a message that's going to attack the power structure, people in the power structure is not going to put you on the platform. So that's kind of like impossible. Like for instance,
hold on. Say that again, Brother Geechee, for the people in the back. Now, say that again.
So the chances that the power structure that put you on place, the one that you're trying to dismantle, the chance of them putting you on the platform is highly unlikely. So for instance, if you are talking about the power structure that created the conditions in our community that we see, and you know Rockefeller and the Ford Foundation funded most of this orientation that we have, you couldn't be on the platform talking about them and denouncing them and talking about the ignorance that or the craziness that they have been spewing out in the world. So it'll be a conflict in interest, right? And so now I will say this, I don't know if anybody remember, but Dr. Amos talked about that sometimes there will be people who look like sellouts and end up pushing Black people forward. Now, I can't say that that's highly likely, but you know, meeting her and being connected to her, until I see different, I would hope that if she's doing some spook stuff, because we always talk about the spook all the time, but if she's doing some spook stuff, then I wish her well. But I always caution us to look at the content and the things that they're saying, and some of the and like you said, some of the money that's going behind these people, and then kind of see the messages that they're giving. So like I think right now it's too early to tell. I do feel some type of way about Cardi B writing the foreword to her book. That's kind of weird to me. So yeah, I don't know. Like I would have to see the book, and also I would have to see some more stuff. Like, and one of the things she did supposedly reach out to Tamara's mother, and somebody tagged me online. It's like, yo, look at your girl, blah blah blah, and I'm like, this ain't looking good. But the woman that I know, Tamika to be, I think she's solid enough to reach out. Now, whether they get connected, whether they have the conversation, I'm not sure. But and last thing I will say about this, there are people in her circle that I know ain't 100. And so again, if you in your circle and you're supposed to be solid, you're supposed to be for the people, and then you got people around you that's opportunists, then again I'm a kind of question your thrust too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And could you tell the people, Brother Geechee, you and I were talking like via Facebook Messenger, and you had brought up, do you want me to share my screen or do you want to share yours?
Go ahead, share.
Okay, because it's not just Tamika Mallory. It's these other folks, Charlemagne the God, Tamika Mallory. I mean, hold on now. Let's talk about this. I'm going to put this picture up that you sent me. Here's the photo. Yes, here it is. And let me pull it over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about this right here. Tell the people about this, Brother Geechee.
So another thing that I don't know how ironic it is, but Charlemagne, we grew up in the same hometown, so I'm connecting to him. Tamika, just as lately we've been connected. Dr. Claude, in Baltimore, we did events with him, connected to him. And then David Banner as well. Now I will say this, Charlemagne is an entertainer. Again, Tamika, I hope she remains as solid as I assume her to be. Dr. Claude is a Black capitalist who we probably should listen to his economic thrust. And David Banner, again, is another entertainer.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You said we shouldn't listen to him. Not Dr. Claude Anderson, the guy that wrote Powernomics, and the guy that wrote, Black Labor, White Wealth that everyone praises. And no, Brother Geechee, you saying don't listen to him?
He's not an economist. He's not a trained economist, and he is he's pretty much his rhetoric and his content is giving thrust to Black capitalism, right?
Well, what's wrong with Black capitalism, Brother Geechee? Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with it?
So one, you should ask yourself, how would Black folks make it from Capital One point to actually capitalists, right? And then you should look into the history of Black capitalism and capitalism in itself. In a second, I want us to even your audience to define what they think capitalism is, right? What do they? I was going to go to Eric Williams as well, but you need to ask yourself: Can we be once capital in the same system that we were capital and become capitalists in that system, right? Is that possible? And if that's possible, how will we be able to do it? And so, one, this concept of being a capitalist as a Black person is a fictitious joint, right? Now, it's been created as political diversion, right? So you could tell the people who you perform economic violence on that if they go in the corner and get their pennies together, they can buy into the system, right? And so, Jared Ball wrote about it. The book that you just not posted, but put up, that tells about it. Earl Ofari Hutchinson, like it's just so many people. Mercer Baradaran, countless of people have shown you that it is ahistorical and apolitical to think that Black people can be capitalists, not owning or controlling any land or capital, right? And so again, while I'm finishing this point, I would love for people in the audience and even you to give me your definition of capitalism. Let's see if we all speak in the same language, because I think sometimes we just be talking and we really don't be having the same definitions. So I think that'll be important. But for the most part, the rich people, especially Black people in America, that you see that are wealthy per se, there's normally capitalists that they're actually making money for. They're not capitalists themselves. They're probably high wage or income earners who are working for capitalists, right? Even Robert Smith, the most rich Black man who paid off those people debt, he's even not a capitalist. He's made a lot of money, and actually he's about to be either jailed or something for being a part of the biggest tax evasion or tax crime in the history of the United States. So he's tangled up in that. Imagine, a Black capitalist or whatever. So the concept of capitalism is exploitive, and to be a Black capitalist is just it's a myth. It's kind of just like fairy tale that we have. So
like you said, so a lot of us, you said these Black folks, like even your Jay-Z's, who I'm worth $1 billion, Kanye West they're saying he's worth $1.6 billion. And so what you're saying, Brother Geechee, is that we would look at them and we would categorize them as Black capitalists, when in fact they're Black people who've made a lot of money. And you said they're actually working for the capitalists.
Yeah. If Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or any of the other 100 billionaires, that the top 100, if they wake up with Jay-Z money, they're killing themselves. So Jay-Z, come on.
Right. But tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on with this picture. We got the answers. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you see Charlemagne name there, and you see a bunch of Black folks, right? And then you see this James Altucher, or whatever his name, Altucher. Yes. James Altucher, right? He's a hedge fund manager, right? So he's a big time millionaire person who's pro capitalism and say that you could just work your way within capitalism. He on his website he got a couple blogs and some pretty like exploitive, clownish things that he's been sharing over the years. But him and Charlemagne are pretty much having this conversation about questions that white people wanted to ask Black people about racism, right? So he has this platform pretty much answering questions that white people are afraid to ask. So it's almost like this sitting down with like a victim, sitting down with the victimer, right? The criminal, and the criminal is asking the victim, why do you act this kind of way? Or what's this thing? Like it's when I looked at what they got published, it looks like they're going to be talking about race in America, but Charlemagne is pretty much saying that he wants to answer questions for white people, right? He want to make white people understand. So in these talks of race and reparations and all these stuff, we're still centering white people with this show. The center is white people. Like, what questions y'all have for us? Let me bring all these experts on, right? So the Tamika Mallorys and all these other people, and we're gonna answer all your questions. And that's kind of this whole concept of we got the answer, which is when I first saw it, I was like, got the answers for what? But now I see they got the answers for questions that white people want to ask Black people about racism and all these things. So,
and this is the guy behind it, James Altucher.
Yeah.
And it says he's he's an American hedge fund manager, author, podcast, and entrepreneur who has founded or co-founded over 20 companies. He has published 20 books and is the contributor to publications including the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, TechCrunch, and the Huffington Post. And this is what he says. What's this, a blog that you sent me, Brother Geechee?
Oh, so yeah, that's one of his that's one of the websites where he was talking about how, you know, capitalism, the man pretty much dominating and exploiting everybody. And he was saying it in a good way and saying that even when you burn out your employees, just burn them out some more and take from them and then replace them. So he's like, you know, pretty much supporting capitalism and for capitalism, but saying that eventually the people who are being exploited, they can exploit the capitalists, which is stupid. But you know, I don't expect much from that guy who's a hedge fund manager.
Wow. And he says this, the negative sense. Yeah, he says, I mean this in a negative sense, but it doesn't have to be that way for reasons I'll describe below. He says the negative sense of exploitation is that I had to convince them to work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for pay that would allow me to make maximum amount of money from their hourly efforts. And I mean, that's really what capitalism is, you know, is a system of exploitation. And so to me, I just don't feel, I don't feel like you can be, you know, a capitalist, okay, or, I'm sorry, an activist and in bed with capitalists, okay, because again, you're dealing with a system of exploitation. So it's a contradiction here, Brother Geechee. So, you know, I know you don't want to throw Tamika under the bus, and you like, that's not the person I knew. But, you know, they say that the writing is on the wall for me. The writing is on the wall for me. And I believe every word that Samaria Rice said. That woman said, look, I'm from the gutter. She said, and I'm going to speak my truth. And she spoke her truth. So I know it's like, you know, you don't want to look at these people. You like, look, I had a relationship with so-and-so. But the writing, as the old folks would say, the writing is on the wall. And I think the problem with us as a people, we don't read the writing on the wall. We see the writing on the wall, but we don't take heed. We give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm speaking from personal experiences. We give people the benefit of the doubt. Oh, no, that's so-and-so. I grew up with so-and-so. And then we end up getting bit. We end up getting burned. The writing is on the wall. Samaria Rice called out everybody, Benjamin Crump. Well, the writing was on the wall, actually, Brother Geechee, before Samaria Rice and Benjamin Crump, before she called out Benjamin Crump, Shaun King, Tamika Mallory, and the Black Lives Matter. Before she called them out, the writing was on the wall. Every incident looked the same. You saw the same people. You heard the same script. You heard about the payoffs. We already know that it's a lot of backdoor dealing happening behind the scenes. And what we need to do, Brother Geechee, as a collective, is start vetting these people, period. We have to start vetting these people before we allow them to represent us. And then once we vet them, if we find out that they aren't for us, we need to make it known. And Samaria Rice has made it known that the Black Lives Matter organization is not for Black people. She's made it known that Benjamin Crump is not for Black people. Tamika Mallory is not for Black people. And Shaun King, the mulatto white dude, I don't know what he is, but he's not even in our, she said he's not even in our community, but they're not for Black people. We need to make it known, and we need to withdraw our support. So, Brother Geechee, we're getting ready to close out. Do you have any closing words for people in the audience?
Yeah, so pretty much I understand that, you know, talking or putting, because it's unique, right? Imagine us saying that these people are not the people. Now, don't get me mistaken, Tamika should be tried by fire as well, right? So I'm just saying that there's things that I've heard that I know that if she's doing things now, she's willfully doing it wrong, right? And so we can do that all. We can have that conversation if we want. But imagine Tamika Mallory, Charlemagne, and all these people that we are calling out on the platform, and Dr. Claude Anderson is in there as well. But he's the only solid one, because I see people in the comments saying whatever. But if we vet these people just like we vet in Tamika, we need to vet Dr. Claude Anderson too, and vet whoever else in the content that they give us. And so if there's things out there that's inaccurate, we need to have that conversation. So if Dr. Claude Anderson, Tamika Mallory, Killer Mike, And all these people are spreading this myth about black buying power, and black people can buy their way out of oppression as long as they circulate a mythical black dollar. Then we need to vet them as well. But a lot of us are holding on to personalities, right? And so again, I would, and I know we didn't have time, but I would literally tell us that we need to like reformulate ourselves and say, okay, what is capitalism? Are we okay with it or are we against it? And who are the people that we want representing us? Now, no, I don't think that anybody should expect a leader, right? A celebrity to be our leader, or anybody to expect somebody who's funded by corporations like Ford or Cadillac or whoever. So I'm not advocating for her. I'm just saying, let's see the work, right? And I know the people that I name on there are not solid. It's not solid enough to have any answers for black folks. And that's what I posted earlier. I was like, if we're not careful, those people that you see on that picture will be the new African-centered people, right? Because they are claiming to be for the people and down for the people, but I just know from their work, they are not. And some of them are counterproductive for the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So family, I mean, I'm going to do these from time to time. I call them Brother Geechee honest thoughts, where I just talk about different things. The next conversation I want to have is this little Nas X stuff. Brother Geechee is really getting to me. This little Nas X, the imagery that I'm seeing is sickening. It's sickening. I mean, the Cardi Birds, the Meg the Stallions, the little Nas X. I mean, this stuff is sickening to me. It sickens the core of me, Brother Geechee. But I definitely want to have, that conversation. I'm also going to have a discussion on colorism. We got to talk about that. It's really big right now. Well, it's always been an issue in the community, but I want to have a conversation about colorism. So I'm going to bring on a panel of it's going to be called Growing Up Dark Skin. Now I'm gonna bring on a panel of chocolate folks to talk about how they felt growing up dark skin, and I'm gonna bring on some light skin folks to talk about how they felt growing up light skin. So we're gonna have little conversations like this, Brother Geechee, a little different from the Truth to Power talks, but just like I just call it honest thought or honest talk, honest talk or honest thought. But anyway, family, thank you so much for joining in. I will be live, tuning in. I will be live next Saturday to talk about Pan-Africanism, reparations. Can it be achieved without Pan-Africanism? Because as you know, Brother Geechee, people on the internet, they're like, Pan-Africanism is dead. And there was this debate that was going on between the ADOS folks and the African-centered Pan-Africanist folks. And they're like, ADOS said, look, I'm trying to achieve reparations. The Pan-African folks were like, but we need to do this, with the help of Mother Africa. ADOS said, they ain't got anything to do with reparations. And so I'm going to bring on some folks who took part in that debate next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Can reparations be achieved? Can reparations be achieved without Pan-Africanism? So we're going to have a part 1 and part 2 on Saturday. I'm going to bring in on a brother who's going to argue that we need that Pan-Africanism is necessary in order to achieve reparations. And the following Saturday, I'm going to bring on another brother to talk about, he opposed that idea. He said we don't need Pan-Africanism in order to get reparations. So join me back here, family, next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Peace and Black Power.